All right, happy Friday to you guys. Welcome to another broadcast. This one is going to be, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not trying to stay on here any longer than an hour. So yeah, this is going to be open line Friday, where you can call in if you got any questions, if you got anything you want to say, things that we've said that you may agree with, that really resonated with you. We want to hear that. But I also want to hear from those of you who may disagree. And maybe there's something that I've said or we've said on this platform that you don't agree with. This is your time. This is your opportunity to call in and let it be known. Because see, as I said in the post that I just did a few moments ago, see, we live in the sunlight out here. We live in light. We don't hide. We're not going to be taught. You notice I'm on a camera. I am using a camera. I'm not using a nondescript channel to say what I want to say because I'm afraid or anything like that. There's no fear here. So if there's anything that you like, this is your time. This is your opportunity. I'm actually getting the phone line together now. In the meantime, we're going to have we'll just have some music playing and while we wait, and then we'll just go from there. So just getting the phone line up here, and then we'll talk some news too. We'll have some news up and we'll talk some of the things that have been going on. I'll give you a reminder again of our Threema group that we have, and give you an opportunity. If you would like to join that, you can, and share with you some of the things that we had on there. Okay. All right. So we just kind of chilling for just a moment here. I got to get this phone line up and running here. It's about 110 degrees where we are right now. 110 degrees. So it's once again another warm day, but I love it. I still do. And but I do want to I was like, man, I need to get to some water or something, man, soon. I'm talking about like to a beach or something, because I really want just a visit. You know what I'm saying? I just want to visit. But I absolutely love, every day, seeing the mountains and that open sky and all of that. And it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful seeing that. Just getting the phone line up here. Google voice. All right, here we go. Get that up there. All righty. Let's get that up. Okay, that's up. That is running, and I just need to put the phone number on the screen, and we're going to have that up on the screen here. Like I said, I do not plan on this to be long and drawn out, because what I'm not going to do is, be begging people to call in. I'm not doing that, because what I believe is that if you have all the time in the world to write a thesis in our comments, then you have enough time to call in. Okay. So we're going to give people the opportunity. So the phone line, boom, is up. Phone is up. And anyone wishes to call in, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys being here. So today is going to be kind of like our open line Friday. Okay. This gives you the opportunity. We covered a lot of ground this specific week. And we touched on some very, hot topics. And I know that for some people, those topics, it was some of these things you were challenged. There was a bit of a challenge there, and I understand that, and I get it. I also understand that, like anything else in life, there's going to be some points of agreement, and there's going to be other points where there's disagreement. I also get that too, and that's fine. That's called life. And so we invite any and all people, regardless if you agree, you disagree, it doesn't matter. And we're fine here. And in terms of, I'm not looking for an argument. Let's put it that way. Okay. We love ending our week on a peaceful note. So I have no incentive at all to be yelling and screaming at anybody. And if anybody has seen any of our lives where we have had callers call in, we never yell at people. We always are very respectful. We allow people to say what they want to say. We give people full opportunity to share that, and then we respond, and then that's it. We just leave it at that. So giving people a full opportunity to do that here. And meanwhile, like I said, I'm just going to be sitting here for the next hour. I'll touch on, while we're waiting, I may touch on some some news that are going on, because we definitely got some real news that need to be talked about. And so we'll touch on that while we're waiting for people to call in if they would like to call in. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, in the meantime, let's see. Let's go to our community page and let's bring that up. Yeah, because let me just say this, okay, as far as who I am, because there are people who may think they know, but they don't know. Okay. I don't run. Okay. I don't run like that. In other words, there's nothing for me to hide. I to the best of my ability, I stay and live in truth to the best of my ability. I have no reason to be out here spreading lies and disinformation about folks and all that stuff. I have no reason to do that. There's nothing for me at all to gain on that. And even the post that we did yesterday, I don't know if you had a chance to see that. I'm sitting here running my mouth. Let me get this post up here. All right, let's get that up. Okay, this one right here. All right, got this up here. Coming up. This one right here. There you go. So like this one, we took time to put this one together so that people can have the history of what's out here. You know what I'm saying? And we just broke it all down and everything. And you can check the information yourself, verify it, and then the rest is up to you. So we posted that yesterday. We also talked about this, Black Hebrew population in Dimona. I said it's a literal danger zone. Now, isn't it interesting? It's very, 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 very interesting that we posted this, and then hours later, news is blowing up, literally, that Israel just got struck by a missile. It was Tel Aviv, to be exact. But where this city Dimona is located, it's literally right out in the desert somewhere. It's further away from Tel Aviv. It's like the southern region of Israel, where a lot of these Black Hebrew Israelites live. And right in about 7 to 8 miles away from the city of Dimona is a nuclear power plant, where it's largely believed that Israel is manufacturing nuclear weapons. And so these people are so desperate to be embraced by these Jewish people so bad that they're willing to live in the worst plot of land and in a place where there's a nuclear power plant. A nuclear power plant, by the way, that was targeted by Saddam Hussein and is rumored to be targeted by Iran as we speak. They even have a whole plan that if or when this plant does get hit, the decimation that will take place in places like Dimona and all of that. And so in this post, I was just saying, who in their right mind would want to relocate to somewhere like this, And so, and even during this post, it kind of put it in my mind. I said, we need to start looking at some of these other places that people are making this claim that this is the promised land, or that's the promised land for our people, or whatever. And really start digging in and finding out more about these places they're calling the promised land. What exactly is going on there in these places they call the land? There's a lot of stuff that's going on. There's a lot of instability that's happening in these areas right now. And sadly and unfortunately, a lot of our people are listening to these individuals who are telling them, you got to escape here. but there's a lot of stuff that's going on. You're leaving one place and going into a worse situation. You know what I'm saying? And it's because a lot of times, and you remember, I think it was in the last video I did, I talked about how religion they uses fear a whole lot to motivate people to do something. So it come, when we were talking about the altar call, the whole thing, when the preacher going through the whole altar call thing, and saying that, listen, I can hear the gates of hell rattling right now, but you better, this is your time right now to give your life to Jesus. And at the count of 1, 2, 3, that whole 9, right? And so it's no different even in the Hebrew space where, it's always preached about damnation in hell and how this nation is going to fall and you're going to burn with it unless you come with us, and then when you start asking specific questions, then that's when you start getting, well, who you think you are, then it's all this other stuff. What are some other things that I have said recently that may have rubbed people the wrong way? Another thing I mentioned, I think thing that comes to my mind is I have come to the conclusion that what we call the awakening or the Hebrew space or whatever word you want to use is largely is a women's movement. It's largely a women's movement. Because when you look at the demographics, the overwhelming majority of the interactions that many of you have had in that space has been with women. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I've said this over and over again. There's nothing wrong with women coming together and addressing your stuff, and being women. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like there's nothing wrong with men coming together. But it does become a bit problematic when you make the claim that this is a movement that is supposedly to address all of these different areas. But if it's predominantly being led by one particular group, then by default, there's a lot of areas that are not going to be fully addressed. That's what I'm talking about. And so we talked about that. That was another thing I'm sure that may have, for some people, they may have had some issues with that. So again, for those that are just coming in, thank you for joining. We're not going to be here too long. I don't plan on being here no more than an hour. This was a very interesting week. We had some videos, that I know that challenged some people, and we cordially invite everybody. If you wish to call in, if there's something that was said that, perhaps it maybe opened your eyes or something, and now you realize, or whatever it may be, and it was an inspirational, it helped you or whatever, then call in. We'd love to hear that. If it's something that you have questions about, maybe I didn't make something clear, this is the time for you to call in. This is a wonderful time for you to call in, and you can hear it straight from the horse's mouth. If there's something that was said on this platform that you disagree with, you strongly disagree with it, you're like, Dwayne, you totally missed it on this one, and what you're saying here is false, and you need to repent. Okay, fire in the chest. Okay, that's fine. This is the chance for you to call in and express exactly what it is that you believe your God Yahweh has put in your heart to say. And so we're giving you a fair opportunity to do that. And again, my policy is you're not going to yell at people, talk down on people or anything like that. But we keep it very simple. Whatever claims you make, you have to be able to substantiate those claims. In other words, if you're just simply sitting up here saying that, well, I heard or I remember, okay, that's okay. I hear that, but that's not substantiating anything. That's just a rumor. Okay. Now, if you're interested in hearing the truth, then you must stick on the phone so that you can get the full story. Okay. And so, like I said, again, there's no running here. We're not hiding. Unlike the individual that we focused on this week with the video, we're not sending little unmasked or masked people to leave long comments in our chat. We don't do that. No, we don't block our comment section. We don't turn it off. We don't throw stones and then hide our hands. We're here. Okay. and as far as I'm concerned, we're going to be here as long as we need to. I'll just put it that way. Okay. So for today, East Coast time, it's about 6:17 p.m. And I plan on being on here at least to about 4 p.m. After that, I got my own life to live. I got other things I want to do and need to do, and that's it. But I want to do this time from time to time. I want to start doing this a little bit more because I want to, for the public record, because I'm very big on that, for the public record, we want to have it out here so that you, everybody else, we can see, okay, I had a lot to say. He gave me an opportunity to call in. I didn't call in. Okay. So this is your opportunity to do that. Okay. So there you go. The phone number is on the screen. If you attempt to call afterwards, I don't know what happens, but I turn it off. Okay. Because I'm not taking calls, when I'm eating dinner or I'm out for a walk. I'm not doing that. Okay. Nobody's doing that. Okay. This phone line is specifically for this purpose when we're live, and that's it. Okay. So yeah, I just want to make that clear as well. So let me put on some different music here while we're sitting around and we're kind of waiting for many of these people who had a whole lot to say to call in. Love to hear from you. All right. And like I said, again, it's not just disagreement. It could be also agreement too. It could be whatever. This is your time for you to call in. So I'm going to stop running my mouth here a little bit. And while I'm sitting here, there's a couple of news items I do want to bring up. So just give me a moment here while I'm bringing stuff up. And then, like I said again, but you can call in at any time. Okay. All right. Okay, while we're just kind of hanging out here, so far nobody's called in, and like I said again, there's no pressure for anybody to call in at all. I'm cool, either way, but we're just here. I do want to mention about the for some of you, I know we've been touched by this a little bit. It was the worldwide outage. There's a company called CloudStrike, and they're responsible for basically connecting many computers all over the world. And that's just, I'm just putting it, just in a simple, simply explain it. I'll just say it that way. And so you have airports all over that have a lot of backup, that they got going on right now. Flights have been canceled or delayed because of this software going down. And this company, CloudStrike, has a very interesting history because they're tied to, of course, here you go, once again, Israel, okay, amongst other places, but they have very strong ties to Israel. They've also gone and they have done drills for stuff like this to happen. Like we've been saying for years right now, that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, when it comes to, people experiencing like what we experience today, where certain sites aren't even working anymore. Banks have been touched by this, airports, all kinds of they've been touched by this, and it's made a major impact on the economy just for today. So you do need to be thinking about, okay, when these scenarios do happen, do you have all your stuff that you need stored locally? And and this is why we emphasize in the past, and we continue to emphasize, having all your stuff. Don't have all your stuff in the cloud. For goodness sake, don't do that. Have all your stuff stored locally so that you can access it in the event of, systems going down and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So make sure you have all your stuff stored locally. That's probably the best advice I can give right now on that. But be thinking along those lines. In the past, we've encouraged people to store, if you have a canister of gasoline, make sure you top it off, have it stored in your house somewhere safely, right? In a garage or something like that. So if the system goes down, you at least have some backup gasoline that you can put your hands on. Same thing with backup water, things like that. These are things I'm going to keep repeating over and over again, because what I do know, which is inevitable, is that when these things really start hitting home for a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of individuals that have heard exactly what I'm saying right now, but didn't do it. And and their next logical step is going to be Mr. Government Man. But the government ain't doing this. See, the government don't care about black people. It's going to be all of that. You cannot operate with that mindset right now. You definitely cannot, because we know too much right now. We have too much access to things right now. I have shared with y'all, again, for those that are just coming in, welcome. Today is Open Line Friday, which means that we're inviting any and everybody and all people. If you have any questions for me, if is there anything that you agree with, there's anything you disagree with, this is your time to call in. Okay. We don't duck. We don't hide. We're right here. Okay. So we're here. And as long as you keep respectful, or, which I don't think the majority of people will have a problem with, we can have a very good conversation. We may even laugh here and there, but make sure you keep factual as well. So if you make claims, you have to substantiate those claims. All right. We're not going to, what we don't do is not going to allow this platform to be used to spread in falsehoods. We're not going to do that. Okay. And let's move on here. Let's see here. So we have it's a platform that we use. It's called Threema, Threemma. All right. I'll just bring it up on the screen here. You're not going to see what's in it, but I'll just bring it up on the screen here. Okay. So some people may need to see Threema. I can't tell you how many people ask me how to spell that. Okay. So that's it right there. It's called Threema. Think of apps like chat apps, like what you call it, Telegram or WhatsApp. Well, you have Threema. Okay, Threema is very similar to those, and we have a group. We just called it Hotline, and in that group, what we do is we share a lot of these things, these little news bits and stuff that's going on, and we really been tracking, particularly the stuff that's going on as far as this, the fallout of the vaccine. And we've been really tracking that and posting all kinds of information regarding that. And I like seeing the interaction, and I'm sure over time there'll be more interaction, but there's quite a few people we got on there right now. I think I'm looking right now. Let me see how many people subscribe. We're just shy of 100. But we got quite a few people that are on there right now, and we share information that we typically are not able to share here on YouTube. And so that includes especially this whole vaccine thing. And so there's a lot of information we post on there about that. We update people when we hear about, our people that look like us, that are being adversely affected by this. We post their information up there as well. And like I said, I'm very serious. We keep track of that stuff, and it's very disheartening. And I'm so disappointed at how these other groups can get together, and they can put together groups like this, get their doctors, get their medical people together, where they're trading information about not just all the bad stuff, but what you can do to protect yourself. It's amazing to sit back and watch how these people operate, and they're putting together hundreds of groups like this. But I was sharing in the group today, I said, it's disappointing to me to see that when it comes to black folks, when it comes to the details of stuff, it's almost as if a lot of black folks, they just zone out, because we've been trained. A lot of black folks have been trained to only react and respond to things via emotion. If you understand what I'm saying, it's the same thing with the political world. Vote, 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 because if you vote as if your life depended on it, vote or die. Vote because if you don't vote, your ancestors are going to rise from the dead and they're going to come out and kill you. It's stuff like that always is always used to motivate people to make decisions. And that's something we talked about in the last broadcast we did, is that we're living in a time right now. You cannot be an individual that makes decisions based off of emotions and particularly out of fear. You understand what I'm saying? You never should make decisions based off of fear or any kind of emotions. You always want to step back, analyze, ask questions, and then make the right choice for you. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that the information you're looking at is factual information. You understand? And so this is just our little way on this app where we it's a fully interactive. In other words, it's not just a one-way street where I'm just speaking, but everybody's free to share information, on stuff they're hearing, little tips and things like that. And so it's been very good. So again, if you're interested, you just get this app. It's Threema, Threema. And let me see if I can pull up my my profile here, and I'm gonna take a screenshot of my profile. All right, I'm taking a screenshot right now, and then I will put it on the screen here. Just give me a moment, and I'll put this up on the screen so that you guys can see it. So again, Open Line Friday, we're inviting any and all people to call in. Anything that we've said in the past, anything that we posted, things that you may agree with, things you may disagree with, you are cordially invited to call in. We do this for the public record, so that people will see and know that, hey, listen, I have opportunity to call in and get the record straight or whatever. Or I've been meaning to ask them about this, that, or whatever. And so here's your opportunity to do so. Okay. So let me put this up on the screen. There we go. So that's my so once you sign up and you get on Threema, take a screenshot of this. You want to go ahead and you want to send a message to me via this. You see that number under my name? That's what you message. All right. Don't just say Dwayne, because I'm sure there's a million Dwaynes out there, so it ain't gonna get me. But if you put that number in, I will get it, and then I will immediately get you added into the group. Okay. And that way you'll get access to that. And there's videos that we post. There's documents, there's all kinds of stuff. Any information that we come across that we think will be helpful for people, just navigating through these times on that particular topic, we post the information in that group. And it doesn't cost you any. Well, you have to buy the app. The app itself, I believe, is $6 now. It used to be cheaper than that, but it's now $6. So it's a one-time fee. You don't pay it every month. That's to Threema. That's not to me. I don't get a bit off of that or anything. That's just what they charge. We found that Threema is a very been pretty good, in terms of security and all of that. And it's been fine. So anyway, so there you go. So anyway, let me go back to my news feed and see if there's any other things we can talk about. Again, phone line is open. If anybody would like to call in, if you have anything at all that has been shared specifically this week, but it can be at any time, and it's something that you agree with and you want to chime in on it, phone line is open for you. If it's something you need clarification on, the phone line is open for you. Or maybe it's something that you just outright I don't agree with you at all, brother. You are off. I think you filled with the devil. Okay, you can call in too, and let's hear you out. And I promise you, there will be no yelling. Not nobody. I'm not yelling. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm in my mode right now where I'm ready for the weekend. So we're here, and so there you go. So let me pull up my news feed here. Let me see what other things I have here that we can discuss while we're waiting. It's always interesting though. It's like when people, they can write a whole dissertation, but the moment you say, okay, phone lines open, nothing. Let me see here. Okay, so I see one thing I want to talk about. I'm just putting my stuff together here. I was cracking up when I heard that Biden was going to be on BET. I was like, what's he going to talk about? I mean, does BET still do the news? I remember that from way back in the day. I didn't know BET still does the news, but apparently they did for Biden. And I got some clips on that. I'll share with y'all on that momentarily. I'm just kind of going through my news feed here and seeing what I got that we can kind of discuss or talk about here that will be of importance. And while I'm scrolling, here's something I came across I thought was interesting. They said, many of y'all know Alice Walker, right? Alice Walker, she did The Color Purple, amongst many other books. She's one of these like a feminist / womanist, individual. Well, anyway, she was married in 1967 to a Jewish man in, what state was this in? In Mississippi. Did you know that she was the first, her interracial marriage was the first legally interracial marriage that in the state of Mississippi? I didn't know that. Yeah, I came across that one. I thought that was interesting. Let's see. What we got here as I'm kind of going through here. And while I'm going through it, man, I tell you, it's been, my Twitter feed, I told y'all I literally had to clean out and unsubscribe and block all kinds of stuff because, it just, I can't, there's certain things I just can't take in anymore. You know what I mean? It just, it's got to stay. I got to keep it away from me, man. And it's been so much better. And when still going through here, let me see what I got. And then I'll go back. Oh, that guy that his name is Issa, that African guy that was going in on that diamond merchant. He's still going hard, man. He's still going hard, man. I caught him on Instagram, on TikTok, and yeah, he's still going hard, and he ain't letting up. And it seems like he has more and more people that are coming in to really support him, as he's calling this mess out. So glad to see that. And let's see here. All right, let me put that music back on here. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll go back. All right, so we'll take a look at a couple of things here. Wow, I mean, what's going on with have you guys been following what's going on as far as Trump? I didn't watch the RNC or anything like that. I saw some clips of it, but I'm more or less talking about there are a ton of people. It's really amazing to watch how people in this day and age are really they're like, nah, there's too much information out here now. people are doing all these complete breakdowns of the scene where the assassination attempt took place. I mean, they're zooming in on different people. They're talking about this possibility of somebody was on top of the water tower. There's all kinds of stuff, and I try to stay a distance from that, because it's like, okay, if y'all ain't talking facts, but I will say there in the midst of all that, there is some truth. There's some very interesting things floating around there. But I'm personally of the belief that in politics, nothing is coincidental. So on one hand, I do find it hard to believe that Trump, that there was something planned to get someone to shoot Trump in such a way where the bullet would graze his face. Man, you would have to be some kind of shooter to be able to pull that off. So I don't know about that, but the guy that they're saying that did it, I find it very hard that it was him. This dude looks like a straight up nerd. And, they talk about how he was carrying literally was walking around carrying his rifle, carrying the ladder. And then he went up to the building, climbed it using that ladder, climbed up on top of the ladder to get on top of this building. Oh, and by the way, the building was full of Secret Service agents. I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. And so there's a lot of like things that aren't exactly adding up. And it's good to see at least that there are a lot of people who are no longer accepting narratives that are being handed to them. It's good to see people that are asking questions and challenging the narrative. And that's what we all should do. I think that's a good thing overall. But you also got to be careful, because, and that's why I said I kind of keep my distance from some of this stuff, because it's just some of it'll keep you lost. You'll be all over the place, man, and getting all worked up and everything. So anyway, let me pull up this video here. This is Biden. And this is one of the things he was at he was speaking with, I believe, Mr. Gordon of BET. And let me get that up here. All right, let's see here. Again, this is Open Line Friday. Miss Phyllis said, let's pull this up here. Let's see, Miss Phyllis Taylor. She said, "Hi, sir. It's been a while due to situations that I have seen you. Can I still use the app I have already? And how much do I pay to stay in the loop?" You don't have to pay anything. As long as you have the app, just message me directly on that. I posted that my contact information earlier. So if you're just coming on, just rewind the video a little bit and you will see my contact information there. Just message me and say, "Hey, listen, can you add me to the group?" And I'll add you. There's no charge for that. As long as you have the app, that's good. All right. So yeah, but you have to message me directly. Otherwise I won't know. Okay. So yeah, thank you for the question. Appreciate it. Let's see. Psalm said, the last I heard, they have collected over $6 million for the man that lost his life at the Trump rally. Well, that's good for him. The thing about these people, man, they are evil and they don't care who stands in the way. Anyway, let me get this up here. Is this the one here? Okay, it's not that. It's this one right here. All right, here we go. So let me play this video here. This is current President Biden, and he's speaking with Mr. Ed Gordon, I believe, of BET. And I want you to listen to what Mr. Biden had to say. Very interesting.
I think that, and one thing does change, is it's not an excuse and explanation.
Huh?
I would ordinarily be going through black neighborhoods on the foot, working through the neighborhoods. I have a tradition. I close every campaign, no matter what campaign, going into the projects and going down the east side. And, hey, Joe, well, how you doing? You know, everybody, well, just because they're my friends, let them know I'm still there. We can't do that now. Not because of the black community, because it's too dangerous for me to be out walking on a company. So what I'm doing, though, is trying to keep in touch with as many of my black constituents and letting people know that I'm available. I'm available. It's a reason why I got involved in politics in the first place. Not a joke. Not a joke. Everybody deserves a shot. Everybody deserves a shot. And we've demonstrated, you give them a shot, they step up. They step up in every community. That's why the black community is doing as well as it is now. And
oh my goodness. Did you hear him? He said that he used to walk through the projects and you know, but he can't do it right now. He said, I can't do it anymore. He said, because it's not safe. As if all black people live in the projects. But what's even crazier is to listen to how these black folks are still defending this man. They still defending him. Here's another one here that I think he said that, okay, in this one, he's making the same claims over and over again, saying that he was involved in the civil rights movement. That has been proven over and over again as a falsehood. He was not involved in that. Here's another one right here. Here we go. All right, here we go. Let me play it.
it's about why I got involved in the first place. Look, I got out of school, high school, and my state was segregated by law to its great shame in Delaware.
Huh?
And I got involved in the civil rights movement. No great shakes, just sit-ins and, and things like that. And the end result of this was all the friends I made. For example, one of the guys who my mom talks about when Barack called me and saying he wanted to do a background check on me because he wanted to think of me as vice president. I said, I don't want to be vice president. And he said, no, there's only you and two others. I said, Barack, I can help you more as a senator. I really believe that. He said, no. He said, well, damn it, there's only you. And I said, Barack, I don't want to be vice president. And he said, well, go home and talk about it. He knows my parents, my mom, my dad's dead. So we had a meeting. I was on the train and then going back to Wilmington. And when I got home, we sat in the back porch, called the family together. My son was alive then, my two sons, my daughter. The only outside other than the family members who was there was Ted Kaufman. It was my best friend and was just sitting as a stepped in as senator when I got elected vice president. And so we went around the room. On the porch, what do you want to do? And my wife said, you ought to do it because if you don't, he's going to ask you to be Secretary of State and you'll be away all the time. And then my son, Bo, who was Attorney General, should be sitting there, not me. And I said, Dad, you have an obligation, went through it. And so everybody made their case, and I still didn't want to do it. My mom was sitting against a railing, and over on the porch, there's like a story up from the ground. And I said, honey, you haven't said anything. She said, Joey. She said, remember when you were a kid? Remember when I called you when you got out of the race with Brock, and you asked me about him? He said, he's really bright. He's an honorable man. He'll make a good president. And I said, yeah, Mom, I remember that. I said, remember when you were a kid and they were desegregating Mayfield, the neighborhood we live, the neighboring neighborhood called Linfield? You were 14 or 15 years old. I told you not to go down there because there were people protesting. But you went down and you got arrested for being on the porch with a black family.
And that didn't happen.
And they brought you back.
That didn't happen. That did not happen. That has been proven to be false. Even the White House has come in and says, he rambles, and that's not true. So he just said, so in case it's very hard to hear what he's saying. See, the older I get, it's very difficult for me to kind of be, when it comes to, if I can't understand it, I'm like, huh? Can you speak up a little bit? I can't understand. Older people, I do have respect. I'll ask once, and if they're like, he's older. I'm not cracking on this man because he's old. Okay, because we all getting old. Nobody's that. But it's just the fact that how people are trying to do this Jedi mind trick and make it seem as if, oh, he's sharp as a tack. It's like, no. That's what we're talking about. But anyway, he got up there and, he's talking about he was on the porch of a black family and then he got arrested. That never happened. They've already acknowledged that didn't happen. My ears can't take any more of it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My ears literally can't take any more of it. Let me see if I can find this clip of. I'm trying to see if y'all saw this clip with your and my favorite news person, Miss Joy Reid. Oh my goodness, this is the desperation of some of these people in trying to defend this. Let me just see. It'd be better if I just do a quick search here. Okay, let me just do that. I'm gonna do a search instead. Let me see if I pull her up here. Joy Reid. Oh my goodness. Is this it here? Yeah, I think this is it. Oh my goodness. All right. I was like, wow, you really allowed that to tumble out of your mouth. Anyway, this is Joy Reid here. This is what she had to say. Trying to help out Mr. Biden here. America on life support. Okay, you get the drum, you get the little drum thing there. Okay, here we go. Anyway, like I said, open line Friday. If you want to call in, anything we've said on this platform that you agree with and you want to chime in on it, if it's something that you disagree with, you can chime in on that too. We keep it very respectful here. We don't yell down on people or talk down on people or whatever. We give you the opportunity. You hear us, and we're very grateful for that. And we think we need to hear from you too. Your voice matters as well, Anyway, so let me play this one. This is Joy Reid in the house, y'all. Listen to the logic here.
Here's the question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same? I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
Oh, sis, what is you doing? How on earth are you comparing someone that has COVID? How you compare someone that got COVID with someone that got shot? But they're doing it, and there's a news report that showed it was like over 1,400 political black women signed some whatever it is saying that they're behind Biden 100%. Ain't this something? But I told my wife, I said, if Biden doesn't win, if Kamala, because there's talk that Kamala may take over the ticket. If Kamala doesn't win, these political black women, my prediction is the first people they're going to blame is black men. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. But anyway, I'm looking at my time here because I told you, I wasn't going to be on here too long because I really had nothing at all really to talk about, but I was looking at the time. I said, you know what, let me go live now so I can have the rest of my afternoon, late afternoon and evening free. Someone had left a comment because as you know, this has been a pretty intense week. We typically do not do videos where we're specifically are talking about a specific person, talking to, like another YouTuber or whatever. We typically don't do that. Now there was, unless we are just raising questions up and that's it. But if it's more or less this, how can I say, I'm calling you out kind of stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. That kind of stuff. We typically don't do that. Typically. There was one video I did a while back where somebody, and they're still standing on it, making these allegations of some discovery that they made, and we challenged it. Since it's in an open forum, we challenged the claims. That's it. We didn't go into what this individual, in other areas of their lives. We didn't talk about any of that. We just focus on the claims and that's it. But they didn't take that too kindly and just turned it into a whole nother situation. But other than that, we pretty much will react to if someone is out here making claims, false claims, about anything or particularly about us. That's something that we rarely will do. But in this particular case, it was one time this person was saying some stuff and it was like, okay, let it go. But then they came back and did it again. I was like, okay, no, we ain't going. Okay, you got your whole foot down on this. Okay, so let's talk about it. So we did a video on that, and then we did some other videos as well. And then along with some posts that we posted this week. We're in a world where there's a lot of information being distributed and all of that, and there's a lot of information being sent out. And what I understand, especially having the research group, is that the temptation, I know for me sometimes, is just to push out a whole bunch of information all at once. And, because it's just so much that I come across. But I also have to be respectful of the listener. You know what I'm saying? Because not all people have 2-3 hours to sit down and to take it all in, because I'm not the only one. There's plenty of other people that got information. So, we do. So that's when we started incorporating having times where people can call in. If you have any questions, things like that, if it's something you agree with, disagree with, whatever, you can call in. So if you notice, we've been doing this for a while and asking people to come in. When we do post videos that we know that are very challenging, we find that we have to be a little more strict in the comment section, meaning that there's far too many people that will come in and will make claims that are not substantiated, meaning that they just say whatever it is. I heard this and didn't you do this and all this other stuff, and then you just bounce, you go ghost. So what you're doing is you're using the platform basically to push your own agenda, but it hasn't been substantiated. And then if I were to leave that up, what then happens is you have other people who do not want to take the time to at least listen to the whole matter. Instead, they just go straight to the comments and say, you know what, I agree with this sister, and then they just liking it and all that. Then what happens is you have a falsehood that's being boosted up in the comments. So when you go to that video, the first thing you see is a comment that is not even true. You understand? So we do have to step in and draw some lines and say, hey, listen, if you want to disagree with the content, that's fine. It's okay. It's okay to disagree. But you also have to substantiate any claims that you're making. You can't just say, well, I think, and, well, I heard this or whatever. You can't do this. Like we had this one individual today saying that they went way back. They said that this is when we were on Periscope, which is no longer in existence now, said that we do open prayer. We had times where we'll take prayer requests and we were praying for one another, that kind of thing. And this one person is making this claim that she asked for us to pray for a homeless person. And she said our response was laughing at the homeless person. I was like, what is you talking about? What? Laughing at the homeless person. I said, it's very interesting that you conveniently, you somehow remember this, because the reason why I invited this person to come in, which as predicted, they didn't call. But I invited this person specifically to call in, was because I was very curious. I would love to know what video was that, because guess what? I have all of those videos. They're not up simply because Periscope is down. They took it down. It's no more in existence. But I do have all those videos. I'll be very interested to find that video that you made reference to. And that way I can pull it up and see exactly what you're talking about. But what I can tell this individual and other people is that, and for those that follow us, you already know, there's been times we've helped people who are homeless, people who are homeless, and set up their own jobs and get them a place to stay. There's done things like that. I mean, it's not something I like bringing up all the time because, and they like, look at what we did. But at the same time, you're not going to lie on us and get away with it. You understand what I'm saying? We right here, and we want to give you an opportunity to substantiate your claims. And then there was some other stuff that they were saying too. I said, you know what? This is enough. This is enough, because there's far too many of this that I see. That's why I said, let me just say this, and I'm just being very blunt, is that the Hebrew space, in my estimation, at this point is complete and utter trash. That's right. I'm going to say it again. The Hebrew space, for the most part, is complete and utter trash. And I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. Why do I say that? It's because for many of you, you allow this kind of behavior to float around where people can say all this kind of stuff, make all kinds of weird claims. And then the moment you respond to it, you try to respond to it. Then all of a sudden now it's you're the one. Why are you attacking her? All of a sudden they're a victim now. No, we don't do that. You can't claim yourself to be holy and set apart and be a liar in the same breath. You can't do that. And the thing that we pointed out in the post that we just did recently, of this trend of all of these people that want to be a false messiah, and we're pointing out to you these different things that they're doing that's all similar, leading, and taking people's money and doing all this crazy stuff and scaring people to move and relocate and do all this other stuff, poking people with swords and all this other stuff. But some of these fools out here talking about, after all the videos that we've done, even the most recent one, they still hung up on what you made people saying zombie. And I'm like, okay, nobody made you say anything. Number one, go back to the video. You're getting partial information. The video we just did, we explained literally everything. There was none of that ever took place. I mean, it's all made up, 100% made up, 100%. And for me, I'm tired of liars. I'm tired of the church BS that I see over and over again. But apparently there's a lot of people in the Hebrew space that love this stuff. You absolutely love mess. You love the gossip. You love tearing other people down. But the thing is, in the real world, you're not building a doggone thing. You're not producing anything. You're not helping anybody. You're not healing anybody. The only thing you have in your bucket is fear and scaring people and your anti-white hatred. That's all you have to give to the world. That's literally all you have. And numbers of these individuals are in marriages that they're not happy with. I told you, I am not holding anything back here. And you mad at your husband if you have one because he ain't with me in the awakening. Why, gee, I wonder why. So yes, I will say it again. It's trash. It's 100% trash. And, are there some good people in it? Absolutely. There's some good people in that. But the system itself, if you want to call it that, it's utter trash. Because you have no interest in building up people at all. You want to beat people over the head because they're not following your laws, your statutes and commandments, the very ones that you ain't following. You want to, and no matter how many facts are laid on the table to show you, okay, what you're saying here is factually wrong, you still embrace that stuff. There's, you still embrace it no matter what. But yet you feel like you have some authority to try to come out and want to put out lies and go after and attack different people and stuff like that because you think go sit down. Go sit all the way down. So this thing, I'm going to tell you this week, for me, it is definitely, I told my wife, I said, it has lit a new fire in me, when it comes to this stuff. And, I do care about people. I really do. But I'm also learning, too, how to protect my peace and to create a place of peace for others as well. But I'm not going to. But I also know, too, like I said, in doing this platform that we have here, on Samba Journeys, and we've made this very clear. A lot of what we share here are just our own personal experiences on our journey coming out of Christianity, coming out of the Hebrew space. And I'm going to tell you, with each day, I find another way to thank our Creator that I'm no longer part of that. And I'm discovering and rediscovering things. And I'm like, man, what the heck was I even doing? What the heck was I even saying? And we've, and so it's a process. And that's why we use this platform to do this. And getting back to this again, you can't point to me not one thing within the Hebrew space that is focused on building up men. Why is it that so many of these ministries that I'm aware of, most of them, they're either controlled by women or they don't have a component where they specifically are helping men to become better men, to become better fathers, to become better husbands? If anything, the focus is more or less on, how you're supposed to dominate and run your family and how they're supposed to fall in line and all of that. But showing men how to be healed of things, of traumas, past traumas and pains, and showing men how they need the importance of eating right, eating healthy, encouraging our men to be better men. You know what I'm saying? According to your own doctrine, your men should be stellar. But unfortunately, the only good examples I see of good Hebrew men are in AI artwork. That's the only good examples that I see. Other than that, no, they ain't there. What real impact are you having in the real world? You can start arguments on social media. You can start arguments on TikTok. You can start arguments in comment sections and say things and hide your hands. You can do that all you want. But in the real world, what tangible things are you doing? According to your Bible, by now, you're supposed to be laying hands on the sick and watching them recover. How many hospitals have you depopulated? Be honest. How many hospitals have you gone in and you laid hands on people and watched them raise up from their sick bed? Tell me that. This is why nobody takes you serious. Quite honestly, they don't. They don't. These are things I had to learn for myself. It's a hard lesson. It's hard going back and realizing, dang, what was I saying? But it's true. There's no component in the few examples of men you do have. A lot of them, they're so hemmed up, tied by the large group of women that are controlling them from the background. I can point to you many examples of this. It's the same stuff that we've seen in the church. Now, I don't hate women. Like I said over and over again, I don't hate women, but I don't like manipulation. And I will call that out every time. I've had many times where I've been approached by different ones that try to manipulate me, not realizing the strong bond that I have with my wife and the one I love dearly. And she's the main and only woman in my life. And I say, you're not going to get between us. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. No metaverse or multiverse. It's not happening. Try to sweet talk you a little bit and, all praise to the Most High. You just, all this. I'm like, yeah, let me pitch you over to my wife. Let me pitch you over to my wife and let's see what she got to say on this. See, no, you ain't coming. It doesn't work that way. So I wanted to do this broadcast to show you exactly this is how men handle things. This is how we handle things. We don't hide. Okay. We stay right here. We ain't going nowhere. I ain't on some nondescript channel or profile. And I'm like, I'm gonna lay you out. That's no men, real men do that kind of stuff. No, I'm here. And the thing is, see, you may be used to someone arguing you down and talking down on you and all that other. I don't do that. I don't need to do that. I'm going to, the respect that you give me will be given out accordingly. It's just it, and vice versa. That's called an adult conversation. What I'm saying is very specifically, because I know there's a high, because I actually, when you go through the data of who watches your videos, there's a high rate of people in their 50s on up that watch this channel. And then when you break it down by gender, a good percentage of that, yes, is women. So I'm very aware of that. But that was brought over from the Hebrew space, which you'll see is even higher. But you'll also see that in the church. But my question is, okay, that's good and all, but we also need to be focused on building up these men out here. It's a lot of men out here that need help. I know our sisters need help, but there especially needs and putting a frock on with the fringes on doesn't fix a broken man. Let me say that again. Just because you wearing fringes doesn't fix your brokenness. And some of y'all have fallen for the BS and you think that that's what fixes you. It doesn't. There's some of the most broken people that you'll find in that space are wearing fringes and droning on about law, statutes, and commandments because they don't have any law, statutes, commandments that have been demonstrated in their own house. Because guess what? Some key components were missing out of their household growing up. So the only thing they can turn to is somebody who's already broken and hurt. And they think, oh, you know what? That's manhood. Let me follow that. And next thing you know, they got you out there with a Toys R Us sword and you wearing a curtain and a lampshade or whatever it is that you're wearing. And you doing all this crazy stuff because you think that's what manhood is. That's not manhood. Being on YouTube for hours and hours and hours, breaking down scriptures, that is not manhood. Let me say that again. Your ability to break down scriptures is not manhood. That is not a definition of manhood. No, it's not. It is not the definition of manhood. Your ability to break down scriptures and to explain the scriptures and all that, that's not manhood. Anybody can do that. You want to see a demonstration of manhood? Clean yourself up. Go get help. If you have some trauma that has been happening in your life, go get some professional help. Start there. Then from there, once you get yourself in order, then start exercising yourself by going out there, taking care of your body. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your body. This is your body is your temple or whatever. Take care of your body. If you overweight or whatever, you need to get out there and do some exercise. You need to get some fresh air. You need to practice on that, right? And then from there, then you're at a point where you can start being a help and an assistance to the community that you live in locally. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, notice all this I've said here doesn't even involve the internet. See, the problem is a lot of these men, unfortunately, are learning about manhood on the internet. And you need to get healing. You need to get help from real people that have the skill set to do that. And if you are looking to people who can only break down scriptures as examples of manhood, you ain't going to get it. It's just what it is. And for all the ladies, the churchy ladies that are in this space as well, let me just say it again. Listen, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Whatever hurt, pain, and whatever it is that you got going on in your life, you need to go get help from that first, because it's not helping you by going around and lying on folks and attacking people and all that. That's not helping you, nor is it bringing any healing to you. You're just like, there's an old saying that says, hurt people hurt people. And you got a lot of people a lot of y'all that are broken and you're hurt. And so religion has been a good substitute for what you really need, but it's not one that's bringing any real results. It's not. There's a lot of women I see in this space. You look dry, you look dusty, and you're always mad at something. You think dry, that maybe I didn't say, maybe you didn't hear it, maybe the microphone. Many, not all, you look dry, you look dusty, and you always angry at something and just ready for everything to burn down. That ain't really something that's attractive. It just isn't. If that's what your life is, that if that's you think I'm just following Yahweh and this is what he wants from me. But I'm looking at you, I'm like, okay, well, you need help. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to tell you. You may think you doing something. You may think you moving stuff, but you're not in the real world. You're not. Okay? I'm being honest. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to be honest with you and clear with you, because a lot of these people will not be clear and honest with you. They will have you thinking that you just in some lala, that you just, I'm just, I'm anointed. Well, okay, well, anointing, if you got the anointing, man, there should be something freshness about you. You know what I'm saying? Like some kind of fresh. I don't see that. I have never seen that in this space. Never. So that would be my advice, even with that, get the help that you need. And by lashing out on people, that ain't getting help. That's just making things even worse. Okay. And I'm just letting you know, I'm personally, there are some people you can say whatever and do whatever. And, and it just, cause you're just used to one-way communication, but here that ain't going to happen. Okay. And I don't hold back. So my personal advice is, before you start opening the box, make sure you take care of yourself first. Okay. That's it. I'm being as nice and as friendly as I possibly can in saying everything here. You know what I mean? And that's it. I ain't going to cuss you out. I ain't going to do all that. You may be used to that with other people, but I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not my flow. I don't do that. But I am going to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? And because I want to see people that look like me. I want to see you healed. I want to see you get the help that you need. I want to see you, to live the fullness of life that has been given to you. That's what we really want to see here. And we're very committed to that. But the little chit chat and I'm just going to say this and I'm going to hide. Keep that in your school, in your little grade school nonsense. We don't work like that around here at all. We don't. Okay. So again, this is one for the record, this broadcast again. So if anybody want to come up and say whatever you want, you come point them right to this video, and then one person call, one. And it happens literally all the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this phone off. And we are done with this broadcast. And if you do by chance still, if you're like, oh man, I wanted to ask, you can always email us. It may take us time to respond, but we'll get to you. Okay. And, but we will respond to you. All right. Let me just look through the comments real quick and make sure I ain't missing anything from anybody. Cause again, we take our time. We'll make sure we covering stuff. And that's it. I'm done. Yeah, I just want to make sure I went. But thanks each and every one of you guys for joining us for this broadcast. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I don't have any immediate plans on going live or anything like that. But, if anything, I may post some things on the community page. So keep your eyes on that if it comes to mind. Okay. But other than that, man, just have a wonderful weekend. Okay. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. You take care, and I'll see you next time. Take care.